From E.P.N, this is Your World Discovered. My name is David Ewen, and my guest today is Sheila English. She is the CEO of Circle of Seven Productions and Readers Entertainment Magazine. She is an award-winning producer, author, and CEO who is a subject matter expert on book marketing, video trailers, and cutting-edge promotion. I've known her for many years, and I welcome her to the program. Sheila, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we were talking just before going on air, we were talking about when it all started. Tell us a little bit.
I was actually trying to figure out how to publish my own book, and I went to a convention where I realized there are hundreds, thousands of people trying to do the same thing as me. And, my mind works. It's like, how can I do something that's a little different, that's outside the box? And I was watching a movie trailer, and I thought, oh, I've really got to see that movie. That looks great. And it occurred to me, it's like, oh, well, why can't I do a book trailer? And it could look just like that. It could be something that by the time you get to the end, there's a little bit of a cliffhanger, like a synopsis, and people are left wondering, well, how does that all work out? And so I started doing book trailers and put a team together and trademarked the term book trailer. We did our first trailer in 2001. We were awarded the trademark in 2002 and incorporated around that time as well, and traded in an 18-year medical career. I worked in the clinical laboratory science, and decided, I think I'm going to start a production company and make book trailers instead. So that's kind of the history behind how I got involved with book trailers. Of course, back then there was no YouTube. No, there wasn't even a MySpace, if anybody even remembers MySpace. So when we would create these videos, we actually had to do, a lot of hard work to go and meet people in person and ask them to put the videos up on their sites and to promote it. And so we knew that distribution was going to be key. So we probably did about one video a month back in those days. And then 2005 hit, a little something called YouTube. And once we had some social media going that accepted video, we went from one a month to about 12 a month. And it just really took off for a very long time. And immediately we hired production partners. So we have production teams all over the United States, and of course recently opened an office in the UK in London. And then we started building our distribution. I tell people it's great to have a wonderful looking book trailer, but if it doesn't go somewhere where people can see it and be inspired to buy your book, why even have one? And so we actually concentrated our efforts. We split it between production and distribution around 2005, which was also the time that we started Readers Entertainment Magazine and the radio shows, kind of diversifying a little bit, but staying within the niche of books, authors, just with readers, and focusing so that our audience would be readers. So I did that. I re-won the book trailer trademark again in 2010. And a lot of people ask me, how can you police that? I always say I never intended to police using the term book trailer. The purpose for that was to, number one, make sure that my name wasn't lost in a crowd of people who would eventually think this was a great idea, and everybody would say, oh, I came up with that idea. Any serious media that's researching book trailers was going to find my name because it's trademarked to me. I have been featured in the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal. I can't even remember how many times I've been a guest on NPR. If I had to pay for that kind of airtime, I would be hard-pressed to even get an ad in the New York Times, to be quite honest. But because I had the foresight to trademark that term, I'm a repeated guest in those areas when book trailers come up. So being a CEO, learning all these things kind of the hard way because I was new to the industry. It was a tough battle, But a couple of years ago, I wrote a book with it's a marketing book marketing, book trailers, and author etiquette in a nutshell with Barbara Bay, who at the time worked for Publishers Weekly. And just I've really taken off with learning about marketing, taking classes about marketing, to the point now I've written my own book, and I have a lot of clients, a lot of top-tier clients who now turn to me for social media marketing and of course book trailers.
I want to remind you of what we talked about before we went on air, that during the Professor Lecture Series, which is a tour that I did for 11 years in New York and New England, is I would talk about your organization. And in my entrepreneurial studies section of the lecture, I would talk about what an industry is. An industry is when one company comes up with an idea and another company competes with it. I won't mention the name, but there was you and the other brand, if you will, that was there, and they are gone. Tell us a little bit about what made you survive and the other brand not survive.
Part of it is being fluid and flexible and within an industry, not putting yourself in such a tight niche that you have nowhere to go. And I saw that. I know that the other company, they had a lot of Hollywood background that I didn't have, quite frankly. And so I was very worried about that competition. But I think part of it was their being able to manage expectations, meaning their own expectations. This industry is not going to pay, $25,000 for every book trailer that's done. That's just not going to happen. And I think that, you have to be careful not to paint yourself in such a tight corner that you have nowhere else to go. And that was our benefit. When we saw that there was a recession coming, we really looked to diversify. We wanted to have multiple avenues of income so that if this wasn't working, if this was kind of slow, we had something over here to keep us afloat. And, I think a lot of it's perseverance. A lot of it was just not giving up. Sometimes that's what makes you the winner, is you're the one that refused to give up. And so, between the perseverance and diversification, I think that's why, we're still here today. And there've been a lot of companies that have come and gone, and I've seen that over the years. And, I've had people call me up and say, oh, this company has this, really cool, whatever it is, some kind of special something, are you worried about it? Maybe you should go check on them. And it's like, I don't have enough hours in the day to worry about my competitors. I'll keep an eye on them because it's healthy to do that, but I don't need to copy them, and I don't care that they're copying me. I want to spend my hours making my company the best it can be and making sure my clients are happy with their product, their service, and their experience with us. That's where I focus my time. And I think that's why we're still around.
We talked about your premier product, which was, or I should say is, not was, it still is, video trailers, which you trademarked the name first in 2002 and then later re-trademarked it in 2010. But in addition to video trailers, which are very much like movie trailers, but for books and authors, you have other digital assets. You've made reference to the radio shows, which you do on Blog Talk Radio, and also Readers Entertainment Magazine. Can you talk a little bit about those other digital assets as part of what is underneath the umbrella of your production company, Circle of Seven Productions?
Absolutely. So 2005, we started Readers Entertainment online magazine. It's readersentertainment.com. And the magazine focuses on readers. So this isn't tips, writing tips, that kind of thing for other authors. The magazine was meant to create a place for readers to come and find out about new books, find out about authors. We do a lot of really cute things, like every Christmas we ask a lot of authors to show us pictures of how they celebrate the holidays. And people like, like those little things. We'll talk about their hobbies. We'll have book trailers, book reviews, but we have really interesting articles. We just did a big article about how audiobooks are being pirated on YouTube, and YouTube's doing nothing about it, and how that's affecting authors, and how readers actually don't realize they're pirated. And that was kind of the purpose of this piece, is to say, yeah, it's great to go get this free audiobook on YouTube, but you're actually, taking from the author that you claim that you love, and that actually hurts them. And this is how that hurts them and how that works. So we do have some journalistic type articles that are available there. And then, as you mentioned, we have Readers Entertainment Radio, which has 2 shows. Tuesday is Book Lights with Deborah Parmley, and it's a 15-minute show, great little podcast. It's live, and then it's podcast later. It goes up on the magazine. And then Readers Entertainment, which I share with Lisa Watson, so that's on Thursdays. And those have, as you were part of that at one point. Those have been around for quite some time, and those do very well. The other thing that we've branched out into are web series, and a lot of people aren't aware of that, but if you go on to IMDb and you look up Before the Dark, it's a prequel to Christine Feehan's Dark series. So it's what happened before Dark Prince. You can't get it in a book. You can only get it in a web series. It currently has 9.5 stars on IMDb with almost 900 reviews. And anybody that knows about how IMDb works, it's pretty tough to get that kind of a rating. And then we did another a web series for Andrew Peterson, and it was really cute. There was a lot of product placement, so his books were in there, but it was kind of romantic comedy. Amazon loved it. They picked it up. They shared it. They sent it out to their Kindle users. So, we're looking at expanding beyond just the simple ad or the simple book trailer. And yeah, like I said, you diversify and you look for things, not the things you want to do, though, you always want, hope that the things you like to do are the things that are well received. But part of it is asking, what do readers want? And then matching it to what you like to do. And then hoping that those two things will marry well.
Now, you talk about diversifying, and you also made reference to our partnership many years ago. It was about 7 years ago where we were doing some radio shows together on Blog Talk Radio. But I want to talk about not only the diversification, but also the partnership that I observed that your organization did many years ago, not only with production partners. And what's making me ask the question is I remember when we were doing a show called Book World News, we had guests from the Wall Street Journal, from USA Today, and many others that were on. So you've described the diversification of the business, and which includes the digital assets and also the mindset. But also tell us a little bit about how you work with partnerships, how you develop those relationships, and how you operate in the industry.
Well, we've got diversified partnerships as well. We have production partners that are all over the United States, and those people represent us when they create a book trailer. So I actually like to meet them in person. I take a look at, I kind of vet them, if you will, and take a look at what they've done in the past. As you know, because we talked before, although we do all genres, we don't do anything with erotica. We do a lot of stuff that's faith-based. We do a lot of children's stuff. And so if there's any of those partners that are doing something that might harm our brand, we won't accept them. So we do have them sign a contract, a non-compete, and have an understanding with them. And we've had partners that have been with us since 2002. Which is wonderful, because you have consistency in the look of the videos. And then we have some that are new. Thoughtfly, we just did something with Christine Feehan's Shadow Rider, and it's beautiful. One of the most beautiful trailers I've ever seen. And we like to bring in kind of new people, because you have younger people and they have different ideas, and it keeps things fresh. So we have those partnerships, and then we have partnerships with other industry people. For example, we have a lot of bloggers that we have a blogger program, and if they would like our free content, any of our content is free to them, and we send it to them. We tell them, this is what we have. If you'd like any of it, let us know, and they've signed up for that. And the same with the bloggers. We take a look at the blogs and make sure that it's a match for our brands, so that people realize, if you're using Circle of Seven Productions, that this, it's something that you can trust. And so we have those partners, and we have partnered up with well, I guess you would call it a partnership. It's a lot of the publishers that come back to us again and again and again. People always say, does this work? Can you prove that this works? There's an old saying, 50% of all marketing works. You just don't know which 50%. And I think that's true. But I will tell you, just thinking of it logically, you're not going to get, Tour Forge or National Geographic or any of those. You're not going to get them to come back time and time again over years if they don't think it works. That's just pure logic. Anybody that knows the industry and knows how publishing works, they don't throw their dollars away at something that they don't feel is worthy, because they don't have it to throw away anymore. So we have those partnerships with publishers, and and we nurse them, and we take care of them like any other relationship. They're important to us. So so we have kind of different, like I said, a variety of partnerships.
Now, you had mentioned when you started your organization back in 2001 and then trademarked the name Book Trailer in 2002. So that time period, many years ago, you were trying to publish a book at that time. Tell us a little bit about what new authors and new writers wanting to become authors, what they can expect in today's world of book publishing.
Well, I think as far as expectation goes, first of all, I think you should be excited. This is a wonderful time to be an author. If somebody from traditional publishing is saying, we're not really taking vampire dinosaurs right now, but that's what you wrote, and you love the book, and you think, oh, this is hilarious, people will love vampire dinosaurs. Just because it's not trendy at the time doesn't mean it can't live. You can go to CreateSpace, you can go, there's a multitude of places you can go and publish the book yourself. And a lot of people have been extremely successful in doing so. So that's exciting to know that you have all these options open to you, and that just because somebody closes a door doesn't mean there's nowhere else to go. There are lots of other doors that can open for you. You need to manage your own expectations. If this is a one-time book and all you really care about is that it lives, maybe it's a memoir, maybe it's something about your parents, that's okay. That's absolutely fine if that's the goal that you have. Maybe you are just experimenting. You're writing a few books, trying to kind of get a feel for what you want to write. That's absolutely fine too. There's no wrong answer. But if you're going to be a career author, you have to look at it as a business. And if you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even start. I tell people, have a business plan, know what your goals are. Take a look at budgeting. Budget your time, budget your money, budget your resources. And then manage those expectations. So you realize writing the book, you have to have the best book that you could possibly write. And I would love to say that if you write it, they will read. Unfortunately, they can't read what they don't know exists. And that's where you have to do your own marketing and your social media. And you do have to create a budget for your time that comes out of your writing time to make sure that people know that you've written something. So, you want to be realistic, you want to be excited. There are going to be days in which, you're going to hold your first book in your hand or see it up for sale on Amazon and get your first review. And it's so exciting and invigorating, and you just want to write more. And that's wonderful. Enjoy that and feel that. But there will also be days where somebody's going to give you a bad review, and you're going to look at that and you think, how could they possibly say that about my baby? I worked so hard on it. Take it for what it is. It is the internet. Anybody can say anything anonymously, and it seems to embolden people to say things that are often harsh. If there's something you can take away from it, if it seems like a fair review, then, if it says, oh, there were too many grammar mistakes, then take a look at that. That's valuable. Don't just get your feelings hurt and do nothing about it. See if there's some value in what's being said. And if there's not, if it's a personal attack, you got to let it just go. Just let it go. And just keep going and not get bogged down in those things. But it's definitely a business, and you do have to treat it that way.
And so that people can learn more about what you're talking about, before we went on air, you were talking about a marketing book and some other material that you have recently published yourself. Can you tell us a little bit about your recent works?
Yes, so the marketing book is book marketing, book trailers, and author etiquette in a nutshell. Way too long of a name, don't ever do that. But I do have it up for free right now. It's on Amazon. I think it's pretty much everywhere. But on Amazon, I know it's free right now. Barbara Bay and I, both industry professionals, have been around for a long time, and we've seen a lot of mistakes. People doing things that might surprise you. Drinking alcohol right before you're going to do a panel. We've seen these things. You're horrified because you think professionals would never even think to do that. Well, they do. And so we decided to put together this book that would give some advice to people on how to get started, how to conduct yourself as a professional, do's, don'ts. I have a big section on creating, a business plan, identifying who your readers are going to be. If you think your readers are everybody between the ages of 15 and 95, male and female, then you don't get it. You don't get who your readers are, because I'm telling you, there are readers in that, but your particular readers are going to be very specific people. And you have to narrow it down as opposed to just throwing everything up against the wall and seeing what sticks. So we talk about profiling readers so that we know where to spend our time and our money when we do our marketing. I talk a lot about book trailers, of course. So if you're interested in doing them yourself, I share some little secrets there about creating book trailers, what works, what doesn't, some surveys that we did, and distribution. So we talk about distribution. So, especially if you're new, it's a really good book for somebody who's just started.
What kind of a reality check? What are the right words to give an author who doesn't realize that they really need to consider their publishing work as a business, and they need to ask themselves the proper questions? You've been talking a little bit about that. What's a good words of encouragement or a jump start that can get a writer to become a successful author?
Invest in your dreams. If your dream is to be an author, you're going to invest in it, not just your time, but in everything, in every other aspect of the business. If you're going to be a doctor, you're going to invest in an education. Regardless of what you decide you want to be, there is some kind of investment in that. And that's going to be money, and that's going to be time, and it's going to be resources. Those are the three big things. So I would say, if you can't spend $1,000 a book to publish it, then you may need to hold off until you can have that money to pay an editor, to make sure you have a good book cover, to get somebody to format for you so it looks fantastic, because it reflects you. It reflects your work. You want it to look fantastic. Maybe you know how to format, and you can save yourself some money and then spend that money in marketing instead. But invest. I guess that's probably the big thing to say. It's your dream, and you want it, and you're passionate about it. So don't skimp on it. Invest in yourself. You're going to be your biggest advocate. So, be realistic about what you need to do before, during, and after the writing of that book.
I want to share with our guests who are share with our audience, I should say, who our guest is. It is Sheila English, who is the CEO of Circle of Seven Productions and Readers Entertainment Magazine. She is an award-winning producer, author, and CEO who is a subject matter expert on book marketing, video trailers, and cutting-edge promotion. You can go to cosproductions.com and also readersentertainment.com. The question I have for you, Sheila, is where do you see in the coming years of Circle of Seven Productions, Readers Entertainment Magazine, and also yourself?
Well, I think as long as there's digital video, as long as YouTube is out there, we'll continue to make videos. Technology is always changing, which is exciting. When we started, we didn't have to worry about what a video looked like on somebody's cell phone. And now there are people who create videos using their cell phone. So, I think a lot of R&D, a lot of research and development is coming because of all the new technology coming, and that's always exciting. Trying to identify points of entry for any kind of digital media that we have. You always want to keep researching that. So I'm looking to expand our digital distribution for everything that we do. So, and of course for COS, we're always looking, to do wonderful projects. We've done, just recently we did the 4 international commercials for National Geographic, the Angry Birds movie companion. We did all the commercials for them. And I just did something for tour where I followed George R.R. Martin around for 3 days and interviewed him, and that was very exciting. We want to have those moments where our clients, like those, something is important to them and they immediately think, well, then we need to call COS because that's important to us. I want that to always be our reputation. I want that to, I want to always be the go-to person for our clients. And whether that's National Geographic or a very first time self-published author, because we have packages that we do that are very inexpensive. And we put a lot of effort into those people, just as much effort into somebody who's new as we do to the larger publishers, because it's all important. The experience is important, the product's important, and getting the word out is important. And I want people to automatically think COS and great experiences and great opportunities and great products. And the same goes for Readers Entertainment Magazine. I would love to get to a couple more people on staff to do some writing so that we have some more articles. We have lots of blogs, lots of reviews. We have a few articles. I'd like to build that, so I'd love to see that happen. And then for myself, I just had a book published, Adam Frankenstein, a collection of short stories, and that was really fun. I have a couple of other fiction works that I'm hoping to get published. I would like to do another marketing book. I've got some things collected for that. And just continue to enjoy life and enjoy what I do. That's kind of the big goal.
Sheila, I want to thank you for joining me on Your World Discovered.
Thank you for having me.
My guest today has been Sheila English. She is the CEO and founder of Circle of Seven Productions. Her website is cosproductions.com. And she's also has readersentertainment.com. That's Readers Entertainment Radio. This is Your World Discovered, and my name is David Ewen. This is E.P.N.